Apple TV just put out the best show of the year, and somehow half of the internet knows nothing about it. Widow's Bay is the show that Dalton and I are going to be talking about today. It's got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics have been absolutely losing their minds over this. The question is whether they are right or not. We watched the whole thing. That's Druzi. I'm Chino. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Roundtable. You will see off that way. I keep pointing the wrong way because Templar is usually on this side or on that side. Over there we go, is not Templar. Templar is actually on a well-deserved vacation. So fives in the comments for Templar. But in his stead, we brought in our good friend Pastor Dalton Druzi over there, hailing from the wicked hot Wichita area. He just said he is sweltering in his basement. I'm sorry that you had to join me this afternoon on what you could be sitting in front of the air conditioning. When it gets hot like this, do your kids start to complain? Are they the ones that want to lay in the kitchen and do nothing?
Everyone is just hot. I'm in the basement, which normally is the coldest place in our house. Not right now. It's just so hot. So hot.
I'm sorry, man. What do you guys do to fend off the heat? You have air conditioning, so it's fine. But what do you do to fend off the heat?
We're blessed. We have air conditioning. We go get ice cream all the time. If you're in the Midwest in our area, Brahms, best ice cream ever. We go to Brahms all the time.
Is Brahms
Oklahoma,
a chain or
Kansas
is it?
Thing. It's a chain. It's actually one of the biggest A2 milk providers of the whole U.S.
Really?
I know you're a health guy. That's a health thing. A2 milk is very popular amongst the health community. Yeah. Like they're massive. They do their own burgers, their own ranching, all that stuff. Huh. So everything at their restaurants are all local. So Oklahoma, Kansas, Brahms. Let's go.
Today I learned. We are not talking about milk. We're not talking about health. Actually, we're talking about probably the opposite of health. We're talking about TV today.
Let's go.
A show that both Druzi and I kind of had dropped on us out of seemingly nowhere. And I think we both started watching it at roughly the same time, maybe within a week of each other. And that show is Widow's Bay.
I remember actually messaging you the day that I started watching. It was like, dude, have you seen this show yet? Like, you've got to watch this. You're like, I'm already watching it. My wife and I are already watching it. I was like, sweet. So are we. We're in
an awesome spot in our marriage right now where we actually get a couple of hours a week to actually watch TV shows. It didn't used to be like that. So we get a couple of hours a week to actually watch TV shows. And these last couple of weeks, we've been watching Widow's Bay. It's on Apple TV Plus. It is a horror, or Apple TV. I don't know what we're calling it these days. It is a horror/comedy. It is light on the horror, kind of very darkly funny in a way that I didn't anticipate. And it's only 10 episodes. They did get renewed for season 2, which is totally dope. And it's set on this New England island, and there's a town curse. And we're gonna get into all of that in just a minute. But the context of this show is the writers, Katie Dippold and Hiro Murai. Katie was a writer on Parks and Rec. So you've got this really weird sort of funny, quasi-cynical approach, and then you got Hiro from he wrote Atlanta. He was the showrunner on Atlanta. Which, have you ever seen Atlanta before?
Yeah, I loved Atlanta. My wife was a big Atlanta fan. I obviously love Donald Glover. Big Community fan. For those of you that know me, Community is my jam. So yeah, Atlanta was great. I didn't watch all of it. My wife loved all of it. She watched a ton of it.
Okay, this show is I've watched maybe an episode or two, so I've read all through it and everything. But this show, Widow's Bay, kind of combines a lot of those things into something, and it has this beautiful baby of TV that I didn't. It kind of hit me, kind of like Severance hit me, if I'm going to be honest. And again, that's an Apple TV show, but I went into it with no expectations, and all of a sudden I came out of it going, I can't wait for season 2. I legitimately cannot wait. It does have a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes as of today, which is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. Let me give you the quick rundown, and then Dalton and I are going to actually talk about it. There's a parallel to Jaws here. There's parallels to all of these horror franchises. There's a mayor who will not close the beach because of something happening, but now there's a curse and the whole island is just under attack. We've got Tom Loftus, who is this skeptic mayor. We've got Patricia, who who's this weirdly awkward loyalist and kind of bumpkin native. We've got Wick, who is this grizzled believer. And then we've got Evan, who is Tom's trapped teenage son. And those are kind of the four main characters. There's a couple other characters that filter in and out, but those are the four ones. The central tension to this is Tom wants tourists. The curse wants chaos, and the island will not let go of people. So I guess I want to just open discussions. Like, what were your overall thoughts on this show in general? Like, give me generalities here.
Yeah, so we had just watched The Burrows before we watched Widow Bay, which was like the follow-up by the Duffer Brothers to Stranger Things, which got canceled, by the way. So did not do well. It was not bad, but Widow's Bay was like giving kind of that vibe up front. Like, I'm intrigued about what I'm seeing. But the longer I watched episode 1, the more I was like, okay, this is totally different than The Burrows, and this is going to be really good. One of the things that instantly struck me was the balance between one-liners, because the humor isn't like slap comedy, slapstick comedy. It's very like one-liner witty stuff that almost is backhanded at times, that I really it just drew me in. And in the thriller scary stuff, I'm not a scary movie guy, though I'll probably reference some throughout. It did a really good job of balancing that. Like, there's some episodes we'll talk about later that are really like, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened. But at the same time, they don't let you sit in that too long. They almost immediately get into something really funny, just briefly, to break the tension. And that, I think, is what kept me in the show. It was like every time it was like, oh man, like thriller almost. It then would like quick one break you out of it in a good way, because most of the time people don't want to be broken out of stuff. They want to be immersed. This was like perfect timing every time.
There's I think you hit an interesting note there. That horror comedy balance is it's a real tough tightrope to walk.
It is.
Do you think it nailed it overall?
I think so. Yeah, I was actually talking to you in pre-recording about one of my favorite board games is Betrayal on the House of the Hill, and I love it because it's like a grown-up Scooby-Doo. This felt like, in some ways, a grown-up Scooby-Doo, and don't let that like scare you from watching it, because it's not rut-row-raggy. Like, it's very much like I don't know. It's just like a lot of fun. Like, there's the mystery that you want to watch that's like Hardy Boys-esque, like they're flashlights in a dark space looking for clues. But then at the same time, like, it's legit scary stuff that's happening. And there is a very evil presence here on this island that they're trying to fix. And you didn't cue in on this, but like Tom Loftus' reason for wanting people to come to the island is he himself is an outsider. So like you have this dichotomy of like the island matters to him because he grew up there, but he hated it. So now that he lives there, he wants to make it something different than what it is. And that shapes the whole show, because here's this outsider trying to fight like what the island wants to be. And that changes everything for the whole show. He obviously brings along people, but it's interesting, really fun.
You're 100% right. Like the Tom Loftus thing, and Tom Loftus is played by Matthew Rhys, who, if you've watched The Americans, he's been in a bunch of other stuff, but he's Welsh, which I think is fantastic. He does a really good American accent. He's getting massive praise as Tom Loftus, and I don't know. Do you think he deserves that?
Yeah, I think so. Tom isn't my favorite character in the show. Patricia definitely is. We could talk more about her later.
Kato Flynn,
Kato Flynn, which I didn't know her before. I knew of Matthew Rhys before this. I hadn't seen Americans, but I knew of him. But Tom Loftus' character is a great main man, so to say. Like, I think he drives the story well. I think you feel all of his insecurities, because that's mainly his character. He's very insecure, not confident, but you start to feel like he's a widowed dad. Maybe cue the title of the show. But he's a widowed dad, and you could feel personally as a dad, I feel his desire to make the world a better place for my kids.
Yep.
And I think that's something Tom drives him in the whole show. Now, sometimes it's Tom's selfishness, like wanting, espresso machines out of their rickety old, like shanty coffee shop. Sometimes having grown up in cities and moved to small towns and like wanting to experience life sometimes like the city had in a small town, you have to balance that, like what is there and what's not, and what's okay to bring in and what's okay to change, versus sometimes culture really matters in those small places. Yeah. Tom struggles with that a lot in this show.
Yeah.
I don't know about you though.
I like Matthew Rhys. I watched the better like season or two of The Americans. I've seen him in a bunch of other things. I forgot that he was in the Wingfeather Saga as well. But American Revolution and stuff like I've seen him around, and I've known of him. So I like him. I agree with you though that Kato Flynn probably steals the whole show as Patricia. Talk to me why she's your favorite. Also, she's British. That's fantastic. Talk to me why she's your favorite.
So there, I don't know how spoiler we're going with episodes. We're going full send.
Yeah.
So there's a couple episodes that stand out to me in every episode so this show does a good job. Let me jump here first. The show does a good job of like every character that is quote unquote in that main party that Chino described gets their limelight, and they almost get a full episode. They actually do this weird thing where they give us an episode, and then the next 3 are what's happening leading into that episode, which I thought was an interesting way to lay out, because not the whole show's like that. It was like one episode was at episode 3, and then it was like 4, 5, and 6 maybe. Am I wrong in this? Like there was several episodes that like followed up from different perspectives of people, and in those Patricia was like one of the main ones, right? Because Tom was trying to have this party, he was trying to pursue this lady, all that stuff. But as he's doing that, Patricia is trying to get the party ready and like all of that stuff. And the 2 episodes she's in are so good, dude.
This one in particular, the beach one. Oh, so good.
So good, dude. That episode made me fall in love with her.
Yep.
And then she finally does what I always scream for, like whenever I watch a scary movie. It's like, why doesn't somebody fight back? Like she has this moment where the boogeyman, which is like a genuinely bad guy. He's basically like the Michael Myers character that's the island has produced and is coming to kill her. She escaped it somehow in her teens. It killed several of her friends. She escapes it. It's now coming for her because it's been released out of this haunted house, right? Like what shenanigans did I just describe? Like that's welcome to this show. But it is chasing her with a knife, and like she straight up fights it. And she's like got tasers, shotguns. That scene of
she
them
puts gasoline on the ground.
It catches it on fire. Yeah, Michael Myers would stand no chance because the boogeyman didn't. But I love the scene, though, because she's carrying the shotgun with her in the ambulance as they have the dead boogeyman there. They're going to burn it you remember this? They're going to burn it and cremate it, the body, and she's still holding a shotgun and double checking that he's dead.
Yeah, until he opens the furnace and she checks that there's acid, and she looks in and she goes, and then you see her like shoulder the shotgun and leave.
Dude, that character is awesome. She doesn't always agree with Tom, which I also appreciate.
Yep.
She's very loyal to him because he's the only, like, whether he wants to or not, she's a part of his team. But she is very eccentric. No one on the island really likes her except for the core group. She seems like she was an outcast in high school. She's constantly, you see that tension. But yeah, Patricia's amazing. Like I could go all day about her. She's awesome.
Yeah. 2 quick hits. Stephen Root as Wick. Stephen Root, you've seen him as Stapler Guy from Office Space. You've also seen him in Dodgeball. You've seen him in a billion different things. He is great. Stephen Root is just absolutely fantastic. I think he is perfectly deployed in this show. I have seen a little bit of blowback saying he is criminally underutilized. that the only real big thing you see him do is kind of the Jaws-y speech he does in the 7th episode on the boat, which that whole scenario is just fantastic. Like the fight on the boat, and we'll talk about Hastings in a minute, or not Hastings, whatever is it, Richard Warren in a second. But how did you feel about Wick in general?
So up front, he was giving that so Tom's trying to say like, hey, nothing's happening. Don't need to worry about it. He's always pushing against it. And Wick's like, nah, man, the island's cursed. We've got to stop bringing people to it. We've got to fix the stuff, and we've got to bunker down. Mm-hmm. Like basically hell is coming to earth. Why are you inviting people to it? That's not the party we want. Right. Yeah. And I love that Wick is constantly like going and doing things. I don't know. It was almost alluded like he was the former mayor at one point. Maybe I'm wrong in that. There was some sort of leadership that Wick had before he went crazy. It feels, maybe I'm wrong in reading this. I don't think it was outwardly said. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I think from what I could read, he was leading like some sort of military group or something. I don't know. That's what it felt like. I don't think it felt like he was the mayor. I felt like, oh, actually, maybe he was, because he says you ran unopposed or something like that.
And he references Tom a lot as a kid, and he was a leader at the time, and Tom was doing a lot of things. I don't know. It's interesting though. You should look it up for sure. But Wick seems to have had some leadership on the island. And then somewhere along the lines, he got seen as the crazy old man because he recognized the evil of the island. And now his sole purpose is protecting the people and trying to help Tom, who has the real power as the mayor, to protect the people. But him and Tom are butting heads constantly.
Yeah.
But Wick is very much the old grouchy captain of the ship that you see in every like dark one single light shining on him. He's got a pipe and he's just telling you old like sea tales. Wick is that guy.
Yeah.
Definitely from Jaws and stuff.
Yeah. So the interesting thing.
Reddit agrees with me.
Some people do, and then Reddit agrees with you, but the Brave auto generated does not. So I don't know I don't ever trust these AI things
or
anyway.
People. Which one?
I trust people more than I trust AI. Yeah. So yeah, and then briefly, his name's Kingston Rumi Southwick, who's the son. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go against the grain here. I did not like him at all. I know you're not supposed to like him. He's a sniveling, whiny kid. I understand. I get it. I saw him in Presumed Innocent. It was fine. He's a great actor. I really think he's a good actor. But man, I could not stand him. What did you think of him?
Yeah, I felt like his character had a lot to want for. I felt like there was never a moment where, and maybe I think season 2 we're going to see a glow up because season 2 spoiler has already been announced.
Yes,
I think we're going to see a season 2 grow up of him. He just never knew what was going on.
Yep.
So he's living and to be fair, he's stuck on the island and he doesn't know why.
That's true.
The show explains throughout the show or throughout the season that if somebody who was born on the island leaves, they die. Mm-hmm. So after a certain point they reach in the ocean, basically they die. The island takes them. So Evan has never left the island. That was his dying mom's like promise she made Tom say, which the island basically took her because she tried to leave and came down with like a horrible like brain aneurysm. But Evan, yeah, I mean, I think we'll see him in a better light next season as he gets involved and maybe starts to learn more about why his dad's doing what he's doing, why things are crazy, all of that stuff.
I hope so.
Because right now he's not matured, right? Like there's no maturity that came through the season because he was a dumb teen that was excited that girls were on the island now that he had never seen before, right?
True.
We saw some cool moments with him and Tom though, like talking about the Boston Red Sox, maybe going to some games together for the first time off the island. Like that all was cool.
Yeah, very true. I want to move into the kind of the curse and the mythology and kind of all that. We don't need to necessarily hit all of the plot points here. I do think that the show gets interesting beyond just like the slasher horror thing because there are a lot of tropes on here. Actually, your wife sent you a TikTok video. What was that TikTok video all about?
Yeah, she did it right before this. So there's references to Stephen King all over the place, obviously. the legend that he is. But the mist, obviously, there's a moment where Tom yells, "It's in the fog," which is a great reference to the mist. Yes. There's references to Jaws. There's references to It. There's a clown that climbs after Tom in a haunted mansion. Mm-hmm. Very It like spider arms, shoulders out. You know what I mean? Yep. There's references to The Shining. There's references to you name it. There's so many things. Michael Myers, we talked about all kinds of stuff. So as a whole, the show does a good job of playing into those tropes, and that's why it felt familiar, but in a good way.
Yeah. So there's beyond the just slasher things. I think the thing that we find interesting is that there is this curse underneath all of it. And the mechanics are interesting. I think anyone born on the island cannot leave. Tom being the outsider feels like the key to defeating all of it. I think that he's like the missing link, if you want to think of that. But there's also that key tension with his son. I mean, even, you talked about the Evan like wanting to leave and his dad being like, I don't think. But there's an interesting kind of dichotomy that plays out too, where Tom doesn't believe the curse, but he also believes the curse. Like, he doesn't believe that his son can leave, but he also believes like, hey, this is all kind of crap, and then vice versa, And so there's that. The origin to this key, the curse was, there was an entire episode about the origin, and usually I hate origin episodes. Like, I hate it when you're not moving the plot forward, but it goes back to like the early 1700s, and there's this guy, Richard Warren, who is, for some reason, has a curse, and there's a chair where people die, and you have to like sacrifice people to the island, which feels very Lost, which, there's a whole lot of Lost themes there happening. His wife Sarah comes in. She's an outsider. She then tries to save the kids. The kids go floating away, except for one kid who it now has an ancestor that is now Tom's secretary. What's her name? Eve? No. What is her name? Ruth. Yeah,
Ruth Livingston,
who is like the nicest, sweetest old lady ever. Like baking cookies, and he's like trying to poison her. I don't know. There's a whole lot going on there. So like,
did she get shot?
Yeah, she gets shot, but she lives. Like,
she lives.
Spoiler: like, she gets shot in the head. Tom shoots her. Well, no, Tom doesn't shoot her. The cop shoots her. The sheriff shoots her. Yeah. But she lives, which I think is just very funny. So the mythology to you, does it hold it all together? Does it make sense, or does it kind of like detract from the show for you?
No, I actually really like that. I was a big fan of Supernatural, and I liked a lot of the elements the through line that they had. Once they got past like the basic early seasons and they really got to like the deeper plot, this does a good job of setting that up immediately. Episode 2, you're like, okay, it is very Scooby-Doo scary stuff, but maybe it's just like random little things here and there. Like, at first my brain was like, okay, is this just one, it just happens to be a really haunted island, nothing's connected, because that's what it feels like up front. But when you really start to learn that there's this deeper story there of how all of this stuff started, I really started getting drawn in. And that last episode, really, like, I'm wondering so much what's behind that door. Like, I have my, hypothesis of like what could be there and why they do things, but it is so interesting. Like, that whole shelter space being designed very Lost-esque as a sacrificial, like, preparation room that leads to that is really, really something else. Like, what's your thoughts? What do you think the evil is behind that door? Because it's been on that island way before all these settlers got there.
Yeah, I unfortunately think we're going to run into a Lost thing where we don't actually find out what it is. I think they're going to string us along, because like Apple TV does this thing right now, right, where they've got like, and we can talk about Apple TV in a minute, but like they keep putting out banger after banger after banger. Like, just most of their stuff, their hit rate is huge on shows. But like, unless you do something like Silo where it has like an ending coming up, I think they're going to kind of red herring it. Now, what I do think is behind the door is just some sort of like supernatural, like on Lost, it was the yeah, exactly. It was the energy, that's what it was on Lost. And I think the fact they have to keep feeding people, which we could talk about that in a minute, like the subtle racism and the subtle like classism that happens. Like, you could feed it prisoners and people that have done wrong. Like, that is crazy. That is wild
Tourists.
stuff. Yeah. Tourists, like that.
I'm just saying, like, if you really care about your island, you just start to bring in tourists, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would do that. Just saying, like, that's the kind of vibe you're getting.
Yeah. The Richard Warren thing. How did that strike you? Like going back to 1702 and all that.
Dude, what a weird, like, Sanderson sisters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that felt like, what's the dude's name in that movie? The Three Witches, the Sanderson sisters. What's the
Is that Charmed? No.
No, you know what I'm talking about though. How that old zombie guy comes out and he's like gray and he's like they have to take off his mouth. What is it? Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, but what's his name?
What's his name from Hocus Pocus 1? The zombie kid that was cursed.
Max? No.
Maybe.
Billy.
I don't know. Yeah, Billy. Yeah. You know how they like have to pull out and he's like dust comes out his mouth? It felt like I was watching that the whole time because he's like was super scary in the callback to the 1700s or whatever. And I was like, dude, this is an abusive guy. He's not a good dad. He's horrible to the new wife that he has.
Yep.
He's just murking people in town.
Yep.
Like the pastor, everyone's rallying around to try to kill him. Like, what is going on? And then the next episode, they bring him out of the coffin that he was buried in alive. And he's like this weirdly like chill, like old guy. It's
one of the best parts of that is that he's like sitting there on the bed and they have to like write to him and he's finally just like, can we just talk? And it was like, why weren't you talking to begin with? Like, what is happening here? That was very funny.
It was very funny, man. I mean, I'm glad they killed him because I didn't want that character to be in the story for too long, but
he was oddly sympathetic though towards the end. Like you really felt because he was like, okay, you can kill me, like all this other stuff, and then it's only like the bottle of wine and like what was he eating cereal out of a bowl? Like I can't remember, or no, he was eating cocktail wieners. And
cocktail wieners,
it was like the cocktail wieners and wine that brought him to like, no, I want to live. Like he's oddly sympathetic. He does turn into dust at the very end, which I think is very funny. The whole thing.
His character was fun.
His character was fun. He was gross, but yeah, he was abusive. But you kind of understand, like, okay, he doesn't. He kind of needs to be abusive here, which is weird. There's a moral question here that is set up, and they talk about it at the very end, and it's the proverbial trolley problem. You know the trolley problem. If you have a trolley going down a track, and you can either you have to choose one way or the other. One way.
Right there, actually, there's.
Oh yeah.
Ruth. Were they really? We need to see her. We need to see. Yeah, we need. As you're talking about it was Ruth. We need to see her as we.
Let's find Ruth's beautiful face. Where is she?
Can I?
Oh, there she is, right there. There's Ruth.
Right there. All right, perfect. Talk about it.
So Ruth is the proverbial trolley problem. Do you kill sweet old Ruth to save the island, or do you make sure that the island all dies so that sweet old Ruth can live? And I think that is the finale. That is really good for a finale. And I don't know, how did you feel, I guess, all told, about how the entire season wound up?
Dude, it was so good, man. Like the end of the show, they're trying to, what is his name's Robert, right? Warren. Yeah. They're trying to chase Richard. Yeah. They're trying to chase down Richard's lineage because what they found out is Richard is tied to the curse. So if Richard and all of his lineage dies, then the curse will be gone, is what they think. So they do this whole like weird funny scene with what's the older lady that's always smoking, that's like backhanded comments, that notices everything's going on but just lets it happen.
I will find her name in a second because she's hysterical.
I'm gonna know it as soon as you say Rosemary. Rosemary's so funny.
Yeah.
She's only in a couple scenes throughout each episode. She's in each episode, but it's always just one backhanded comment at Tom, or like something like, Patricia, you're an idiot. Like that's basically it. Like, and I love it. But Rosemary is a whiz with lineage. She goes through this whole scene of like breaking down Richard's family, and they get to Ruth, and they find out that Ruth is who they think the last living relative of Richard, or not Richard, of Richard. Warren. Yeah, Richard Warren.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Robert. Richard Warren. So it's this really interesting thing of like this sweet old lady that's been Tom's secretary. She's aloof. She never writes down the right notes. She's so old. She's so sweet. And now they have to kill her to end the curse. And it's like, man, is this the right thing? And Tom has this whole amazing scene where he goes over to her house and is trying to like kill her, but trying to do it I don't know. It's awesome. Well, then you find out Ruth is actually his mother-in-law. Yeah. His wife was kind of given away at a young age, and his son is now a part of the lineage. Mm-hmm. So like that entangles the whole, like the trolley all of a sudden takes a halt, and now he's not sure he can pull the lever.
Yeah.
We then learn in the last episode that they could choose to kill off his son, basically, in Ruth, or they could appease the entity with sacrifices. So season 2 is going to be so interesting because he's not going to choose Evan. He would have chosen Ruth. He already tried to choose Ruth, but he will not choose his son. So is he going to sacrifice? Because we don't know that they could beat the entity without killing Evan. So season 2 is going to be all about that dichotomy, like the struggle of like random sacrifices or Evan. Yeah. And I'm so into that. Like, Tom is so crazy and neurotic. It's going to be so fun season 2. Him trying to keep Evan as a secret too, so no one else learns that, is going to be so good.
Yeah.
I almost think he kills Ruth just to keep that secret, by the way.
I was literally going to say
the only one.
Yeah, I was literally going to say something like, does he shove Ruth into the doors where the electric chair is, because to try to appease the island? Although the island does get appeased and everything at the end, like, so is the curse broken at that point, or is it just kind of like halted? Like, what's your read on that?
So the church has a bell that is broken.
Yep.
But the entity uses it to tell how many sacrifices need to be made. There was 8 bell tolls at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
1 is gone now. It pinged 7 times. So going into second season, basically they now have to make 7 sacrifices to fully appease it for this season, whatever season that looks like. Now, I'm not talking show season. I'm talking about season of time within the show.
Right.
So how long does 1 bell, like, being appeased last? Is that years? Is that months? Is that days? Is that hours until the next sacrifice has to happen? We don't know. But there are 7 bells left that need to be appeased for the entity. And I'm so ready for that. Like, because one bell was like hurricane level, killing everyone on the island. Yep. Bringing back the boogeyman, bringing back fog that kills you, bringing back zombie women, like craziness.
Yep. Yeah.
What's the rest got?
I think also the interesting thing is season 2, it has to avoid some traps, I think. It has to avoid kind of the Stranger Things trap of like the last season of Stranger Things, and we're going to bring up Stranger Things here. Sorry, guys. It sucked. And they fell into all of the traps that were set out in front of them. It was bad writing. There was no real there was kind of continuity, but there was no real season to season continuity that happened. There was kind of like episode continuity. They wrapped everything up with a nice tidy bow, and like they then tried to seed social media. I mean, you could see like the social media play to like, well, maybe Eleven's still alive, and maybe she's going to come back, and maybe they got married, and stuff like stupid crap like that. I think there's also like I mentioned Lost. They have to avoid the Lost trap of, we're just not going to explain things. We're just going to keep heaping mystery after mystery after mystery until whatever. And I love Lost, and I know you love Lost too. Like that's not an indictment on Lost. I think they have to avoid those traps. But I think the biggest thing is Katie Dippold, one of the writers, she said that she's had this show in mind for 20 years. I read an interview with her. She's had this show in mind for 20 years, and she sold it back in 2013, but then pulled back. So like, it's been sold for 16 years, but then she pulled back. So she has a long vision for this world, and she's kept writing. So like, I'm not necessarily worried about it. I just think they need to make sure that they don't hit all of those traps, those landmines there. The biggest, I guess, question for you, is this Apple TV lucking out again, or is this Apple TV kind of proving that they have all of the money and they can buy all of the good shows?
I don't think I think it could be that. I've argued for a while now that Apple TV is the one platform everyone should get. If you have to choose between Netflix, Apple TV, Prime, you name it, Apple TV puts out banger for banger. Like, they may not have, the catalog's huge now at this point. If you've never watched any Apple TV stuff, you need to get onto it now. You will have plenty to watch. That's so good.
Yes.
But this just continues to show that they're finding the right shows, and all of the shows have some sort of level of like consistency and intentionality, and they do a really good job of finding shows that have a lot of heart behind it. Netflix just shoots and throws like, they get hits every now and then and they're really good, but they'll also make 100 other bad shows. Apple TV, from what I've seen so far, I've not liked an Apple TV show. And they've covered wide range of topics.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, like thriller, history, romance, you name it. And they've done a great job. Now, some of Apple TV's movies are a little bit whatever, but the TV shows are always pretty banger. Now, this released the same time as another show that I'm really not interested in at all, but this one is really good.
And that show was, what was it? Maximum Pleasure Guaranteed? Is that what it was?
Something like that. It's just not for me. But I like Jake Johnson, which Jake Johnson is going to be in another Apple TV show all about pickleball, which is going to be awesome.
Yes.
I'm so pumped for that.
Yes.
It almost feels like their version of what's it is Apple TV show, the golf show.
Oh, Stick.
Stick. It feels like pickleball, but stick. It's called Dink. Yeah. But Apple TV's done a lot of good things. I think it's whoever they have not in their writing room, but above their writing room that are finding these movies and these plots or the TV shows. They're killing it.
Yeah.
Very intentional. I'm a big Apple guy, so I feel like their heart in a lot of areas of their company has really flowed into this.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Overall, their show is great. Their shows are great.
This cast is stacked. I didn't realize that. Stacked. Oh my gosh, Wayne Wilderson.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah, the trailer is very funny. Very funny.
So good.
Did you see the new Will Ferrell golf show?
Yeah, I did see that. That's not Apple TV though, right?
No, that's Netflix. But I actually kind of want to watch it. The Hawk is what it's called.
Yeah, dude.
It looks very funny.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Did you hear he's going to be Inspector Gadget?
No way. Really?
Yeah, supposedly it's been leaked that he's going to be Inspector Gadget soon.
Huh? Like actually Go Gadget, whatever?
Yeah,
or
Go Gadget, like Matthew, was it Matthew Broderick that did it before?
Yes. Yeah,
in the 90s?
Yeah.
So Will Ferrell supposedly is, I don't know if it's been 100% released yet. Maybe I just got baited by the internet, but from what I've heard, yeah, I loved that show as a kid, but Will Ferrell would be hilarious, Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, it'd be Get Smart, but with Will Ferrell, it'd be pretty good.
It would be great. Yeah. All
right,
but no, Apple TV, man, good stuff.
We should close this episode out. I want to close it on something that I've asked Templar before, but give me one word or one phrase that describes this show for you, describes Widow's Bay for you. One kind of overriding thing that you come away with. The internet loves dead air.
Yeah, I love that. I know. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, I feel the first, just off the cuff, cursed is what comes to my brain.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. Chalked. All that stuff. And it's fun though. It's a fun cursed. It's fun because you're not involved in it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I don't want to be on that island. Do you, especially because I'm an outsider.
Do you recommend, is this a watch or a pass for you?
No, 100%. I think I would put the caveat, some people don't enjoy scary movie stuff. I'm not a big gore person. I'm not out here watching the newest slasher movie that comes out, but there are things in this that I really, really enjoy, that even if not every part of it, some of the occult stuff, maybe not always my favorite, but once again, I watched Supernatural, that dealt a lot with it, but I felt like the show just was really fun, man. Really, like I said, it's a very grown-up Scooby-Doo in a way, and I really enjoyed that.
Yep, agreed. I'm right there with you. I think my word or my phrase would probably be just wild. Like this is it. It was wilder than my expectations. It achieved wildly in my head. It's a wild show. Go for it. It's a definite watch for me. And among like kind of the Apple TV originals, it's probably like top 5 for me. It's like a Ted Lasso, a Silo. Okay. It's up there. Like I'm trying to Severance definitely.
Severance is up there. Severance is number 1 for me.
Severance is probably no, Ted Lasso's number 1 for me. But did be Ted Lasso, Severance, probably Silo, probably this, and then I don't even know what else would be up there.
Masters of the Air is up there for me, dude. That series was killer. I don't know if you liked it. It was a history. Yeah, it was good. I just love that era. Mm-hmm. Like I thought they did a good job with Masters of Air. Mm-hmm. I think Blind was pretty C was pretty fun for a while.
Yep.
It fell off after a while, but I liked it. Silo, I need to give another chance,
dude.
I need to finish season 2.
Season 3 coming
season
up.
Season 1 was killer. I know.
Yep. And dude, the whole paradigm changes at the end of season 2 as well. And so season 3 is going to be, if they follow at least some of what the books were doing, like it's going to be pretty rad. But
season 2 was kind of slow, so yeah.
At the beginning, it was towards the end. It was a ramp. It started ramping up towards the end. So, if you are interested in stuff like this, obviously you can sub and do all the things, but you can also join us. Dalton and I are pastors at a completely digital church called Lux Digital Church. You've heard about us, Templar and I talk about it before. You can join in over at our Discord, discord.gg/Lux Digital Church. It's in the doodly-doos below. Or you can head over to twitch.tv/Lux Digital Church. We stream there every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Our next episode, we're going to be kind of breaking down what happened in the latest round of our action movie bracket. Templar will be back. And there's going to be a lot of fun and hilarity. And we're actually going to be talking a little bit about gaming and price increases and Microsoft and how the ripple effect of Grand Theft Auto announcing at $80 is actually just the beginning of where I think we're going to be priced out as gamers. So join us. But Dalton, thanks so much for joining us in today, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. We'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.